we are going to talk about variations in mathematics. Right? So those are some of the things that you need in order for you to tackle almost all the problems that comes under variation. So what is a variation? In my opinion, the variation is something that changes. Is that okay? It varies from one point to the other depending on one or two quantities. Right? Some of these things we know them before mathematics came to the existence, just that mathematics do it in the simple way or more professionally or formally. Right? So today we are going to use these two items to demonstrate our variation topic. Is that okay? So here I'm going for iPhone and then as well as iPad. Is that okay? So these two things we are going to use to explain variation. So you may consider using a different item. Is that okay? But let's see how it works. So the first two, I believe that to solve any problems, you have to have some ingredients and tools at your disposal. And of course, you must know how to use them for you to have an easy process. Is that okay? Maybe you may know the tools or the ingredients, but you may not know how to use it. That is why we are here to help you to tackle any problems, especially under mathematics. Alright, so the first tool that you need under variation is the direct variation. So what is a direct variation? By here what we do is that we help you to understand the concept. Is that okay? So by the way, if it makes sense or it doesn't make sense, maybe if it makes sense to you, that is okay. But if it doesn't make sense, maybe yours is to learn the definitions and pass your exams and move on to the next stage. So let's dive into the tools that will be needed under the variation to tackle any problem that comes our way. Okay, the first one is what? The direct one. So the direct one, this one is direct variations or direct proportion. Is that okay? So this is just a symbol of what? Proportion. Don't let this thing worry you. Is that okay? Now, by the way, so far all that we know is some of the operations under mathematics are addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, less than, and so on and so forth, equal sign, and so on. So we don't know how to compare this. Is that okay? So when they say y varies directly as s, this is what it means, right? This will be your first step, right? This is the tool that you need in order to solve any problems under the direct variation or direct what? Proportion, right? So this one is a proportional what? Symbol. Is that okay? This is a proportional symbol. So they say y varies directly as what? X. So what does it mean? Let's say that iPhone. So let's get iPhone varies directly as well iPad. This is just an assumption for understanding purpose. Is that okay? So what do? We don't know how to solve this. We don't have any method in using solving this now. So what we know is that you have to convert that to something that you can easily tackle. Is that okay? So we bring the equal sign over here. But before the equal sign has to come, you have to bring something in place of that, just like buying something, right? You have to exchange that thing with another item. Is that okay? So we are changing this one to equal sign. The reason being is that, in my opinion, is that for us to be able to calculate, right, we cannot do anything about it, but with this one we can easily what? Manipulate it. So we are changing the proportional symbol here to what? An equal sign. For you to do that, you must attach a constant. So this k is just a constant. Don't let this thing worry. It's just a number. Is that okay? You must bring a number attached to the x here for us to get the equal sign. Right? This is just a law, and a simple law. You just have to obey. Is that okay? This is a law. As I say earlier on, if it makes sense, fine. If it doesn't make sense, learn the definition and move on. This is something that we apply in our daily lives. So let assume that the price of iPhone here is 10. So whatever currency you are using is okay. So it's 10. So how do you get that? You may say that this 10 depend on the price of what? iPad. Is that okay? So we are using iPad here. So the price of iPad, let's say the price of iPad is 5, right? Can you see that they are not the same? Is that okay? So you need to do some changes on the left hand side. Sorry, the right hand side. Is that okay? So that changes that we are doing here is what we call k, right? This is what we call a constant. Of course, that k has to be what? 2 here. Can you see that? So 2 multiplied by 5 will give me 10, right? So if you want to determine the price of what? iPhone. So let's say the price of the iPhone here is 10. Is that okay? Let us assume you are not giving this. Well, by the way, let's say you may be giving any of the three. Is that okay? Mostly you'll be giving the iPhone as well as the iPad. So those are our y and what? And the x over here. But you may not be giving the constant. What makes them equal? That is the most important thing. Is that okay? Or the other way around, you may be given this and that, so you'll be asked to determine the price of the iPhone. So let's say that you are giving the constant to be 2, right? The constant, that's the a proportional constant over here. So something that makes them equal. Is that okay? So you are giving the k to be 2, and then the price of the uh, uh, iPad is 5. Is that okay? Automatically, you can see that the price of the iPhone will be 10. Is that okay? Once this one, the price of the iPhone changes, the price of this one, the iPad will also change. Is that okay? So that is very simple. That is just a direct proportion. So for you to convert the proportional sign to the equal sign, there must always be a constant, something that is changing them. Is that okay? That is what we call the constant over here. So anytime you come across a direct variation, it means that y, whatever you are dealing with, let's say any variable, you may come across any variable. Is that okay? So in this case, you are using y. Y varies directly as x. So what it means that you cannot compute this, right, by assumption. So you need to convert that to equal sign. So it means that when you are bringing an equal sign, you must also bring something in exchange to this proportional. That's the k that we are having here. Is that okay? So y is equal to kx. So the same applies to the inverse. Is that okay? We are having the inverse over here. So inverse of variation or inverse of proportion. So what we do is that y varies or inversely as what x. Inverse, right? The other way around. Inverse. This in this case is not direct, right? Inverse. So inverse means that that x has to be added down the bottom over here. So 1 over x. So y varies inverse. If it were to be direct, then you can see that here we are having a direct straightforward. Is that okay? But the inverse is the other way around. Once again, this is a definition, right? This is a definition. You must accept this definition and carry on with your operations. Is that okay? So y varies inversely what as x. So this is how you write it, right? Of course, you don't know how to manipulate this in mathematics. So what do you convert to something that you already know, which is the equal sign. For you to exchange that with the equal sign, there must always be a constant. Is that okay? So y is equal to k. K here is a constant, right? A constant is just a number. So k here is a constant. Then constant multiplied by the 1 over x. That will give you what? K over x. So whatever values that you are having for the respective letters over here, that could be y, x, or k. Then you just need to replace and carry on with your operation. So if you enjoyed the video so far, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and then subscribe to our channel, whereby we can solve a pure math exam questions on these particular topics for you to get exactly how to apply the definitions and the formula here. Okay, the next one will be a joint, right? As the name implies, it means that a combination of 2 or more quantities. Is that okay? So what I mean by the 2 or more quantities is that to determine the price of the iPhone, those iPhone depends on the price of the iPad, as well as, let's say, iPhone case, right? Something of that nature. Is that okay? So we are going to, the price of the iPhone will depend on what? Let's say the price of iPad as well as what? iPhone case. Is that okay? So this case is that y varies what directly as s and inversely as what z. You see, don't let this thing confuse you, right? Don't let these letters confuse you. Is that okay? They are just a names of something. They are using that to replace some items. Is that okay? Then this is how you write that. The joint is a combination of 2. That's the most important thing, right? The price of one thing depends on what? 2 different things. So you may comment if you have an assumption. Is that okay? For us to help us promote the channel, and others will also learn from one another. And then always, if you are changing the proportional sign, you must make sure that you go along with certain things for exchange. So here we are converting this one to an equal sign. Then that will be what? Y is equal to kx over what? Y. We are just attaching the k to the what? The second part there, just after the proportional sign, right? This is a formula. This is a definition. Then you must obey that. Is that okay? Okay. Then the final one in this case is what? A partial variation, right? What is a partial? Partial means that 2 or more, or what we studied so far has been what? Combined together. Is that okay? So maybe the direct inverse as well as what? The joint being combined together. It happens, right? It happens in the real life, whereby you may have some complicated thing. Just to determine the price of one thing, you have to go a long way. Is that okay? So the simple one that I'm having here, you can see that y varies what? Constantly, and then as well as what? As well as the constant variation of what? X, or the direct variation of S. Is that okay? Two things are being combined here. So anytime that you are moving, the first part has to be what? Always be attached to a constant. Then the second one has to be what? Just do them separately, right? One by one, and then you combine it together. Is that okay? Depending on the information being given to you, right? Depending on information. So for the partial, it's the combination of what you've studied so far. So you may decide to go and do it one by one, and when you are done, you combine it together. Don't worry, we will solve a pure past questions and exams question on this channel for you to see exactly how to apply any one of these. I mean the direct, inverse, the joint, as well as the partial variation. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, share the video if you enjoyed it so far, and then comment below if you have any problems. Then we are ready to help you. Or you may consider joining our WhatsApp group whereby we interact with the students one-on-one for their better understanding. Thanks for watching.